So let's look at it quickly. The 6 mil valuation, raising 3.3% equity with a 175k target. They've already raised 205, so they're over, which is great. They've got 11 days left at the time of filming on the 13th of June, 2022. They've got a patented solution that's fantastic, which helps stop waste oil from being burned or lost in the environment. Of course, it wouldn't get lost; it just get transferred. So if it's burned, it would go into the atmosphere, or it could go into the water supply, so it'd never get lost. But still, it's terrible that happens. And they've developed a patented solution. They've got IP, intellectual property, which is developed by BP, but it's now owned by CirculOil. So I guess maybe it's the same engineers, or maybe they bought it from BP. I would assume it's the same engineers, or maybe they've got a joint venture partnership with BP or Castrol. I'm not sure. Anyway, the circular technology has been designed to ensure quick lubricant change, green reusage, and smart digital tracking on a mission to scale in multiple sectors. I don't have access to the pitch deck, so I'll just look at the video in this video. And then when I get access to the pitch deck, I'll do a quick analysis of that. In the meantime, let's have a quick look at the video.
Used engine oil is one of the most hazardous waste products in the world and a leading contributor to the climate crisis.
Yeah, I do think it's horrible. I've got a direct experience with this when there was, it's not quite in the same way with this pipe, but I wanted to go swimming in Pensacola when there was an oil spillage, and it's terrible when if you're in the sea and then you get oil on you. It's awful. Obviously, it's terrible for wildlife as well, and probably for the whole ecosystem.
2 billion liters burnt or left to pollute the environment.
It's terrible.
At CirculOil, our vision is to drive circularity and eliminate pollution from waste oil. With IP and patents developed in BP and now owned by CirculOil, we've created a quick, green, smart system that saves money, increases productivity, and allows for 100% of the oil to be collected and recycled safely.
So that looks good. It looks like they've got a plug-and-play system. I think this thing here is their system, and looks like they've modulated it so to go into this kind of small tractory type equipment, farm equipment maybe. It's great that it's 100% recyclable. They've got a product that works, it looks like, as well.
The sustainable solution has never been more critical. Current forms of oil disposal are incredibly wasteful.
If you're interested in investing, it's not a bad thing to look at these people on LinkedIn and Google just to get a bit of a background.
One typical oil change, for example, could contaminate.
One oil change can contaminate 1 million gallons of fresh water. Wow.
Over 1 million gallons of fresh water. And alternative fuel sources, such as fuel cells and hydrogen.
If you do the numbers then, let's just quickly look at that. One oil change. I don't know what an oil change is in terms of how many gallons it is, but it's probably huge. If they're saying, you know, if you run those numbers against what they were saying of how many thousands of gallons gets burnt or put into water streams, it's a lot of water. Fresh water will get contaminated, so it's a big problem, and they've got a solution. Let's continue.
Gallons of fresh water. And alternative fuel sources, such as fuel cells and hydrogen, are either not applicable to this sector or still generate tons of waste oil. Our solution is CirculOil, a cartridge technology that allows us to collect waste oil, reprocess it, and then reuse it.
I like that idea that it's like in a cartridge, it's in a container, so it's not just kind of put in and then when the oil, or I guess if it's, I mean, I must admit I'm not an expert on oil, but the fact that it's a cartridge plug and play system, I think that's easy for everybody to understand. I think it's probably quite easy to market and to sell as well.
CirculOil is quick, with a 90-second oil change, reducing operators' downtime.
I mean, look at that. It looks simple. That even looks like I could do it, and I'm an idiot when it comes to mechanical things like this. But that looks quite simple to do.
During the critical maintenance process.
Just bam, click it in. Kind of run out of usage. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure it's that important, but I guess the whole message is that it's all kind of reusable.
Smart, with our digital platform allowing us to track the cartridge and oil as it passes through the circular ecosystem.
That's good.
CirculOil provides a much needed solution.
Please log in the right type in order to pair your cartridge to a new dock or to log your cartridge activity. So I guess that would be to track efficiencies and maybe how much they've saved in the environmental sense. I guess it'd be interesting to know a bit more about this. I don't know if they're going to talk about it in the video.
For sectors
That kind of data element, I think that's quite interesting.
such as power generation, ground maintenance, and other industrial applications such as compressors. With over 500 million vehicles in,
I think that's really good that they've been able to manufacture this, and they've got a product market fit for very different styles of machinery here. I think that's fantastic.
use in those sectors alone, and
500 million vehicles.
the mounting pressure
Sounds
for businesses
impressive.
to meet net zero targets. CirculOil's circular ecosystem now makes oil considerably more sustainable.
Our technology unlocks the ability to re-refine 100% of the waste oil, returning it to good as new, while importantly saving 50 to 80% of CO2.
That's good, but at the moment, I mean, it's fantastic from an ecological point of view, and I'm all for investing in eco companies, but what benefit is it to the farm owner or the landowner or whoever they're selling it to? I wonder if they go into that detail.
Compared to conventional production of base oil.
Our technology is market ready, with systems in place at top UK ground maintenance contractors and a leading Japanese engine manufacturer.
All right, so let's go over that quickly. Japanese engine, sorry, it's market ready, which is good.
Systems in place at top UK ground maintenance contractors.
Top UK ground maintenance contractors. That's good. So I guess, and a Japanese firm. I'm still kind of questioning, like, what's the benefit to the business? Is it kind of green credentials, or is there a net efficiency saving? Is it cheaper for them? Can these guys sell them back the oil, or can they reuse the oil in terms of reusing it in the same tractors or in the same machineries? Or does it go back to CirculOil? And then is it like a kind of printer cartridge system where they reuse the same oil, or they haven't explained that as yet anyway.
And a leading Japanese engine manufacturer. We also have customer trials running and more planned for later this year, with expansion into the power generation and compressor.
So it looks like they're trialing with different companies but they're looking to expand into other markets, which can be good and bad, because if they've got a big market in one area, they could double down in that one area, but it seems like they're going quite broad, which has pros and cons. It's kind of dilution of the sales and marketing message is one con. But obviously, if it works and they can close some of those deals, then they can generate lots of revenue. But typically, I like when a startup shows a lot of focus. Now, so far in this video, I think there's a lot of positives. But yeah, that kind of lack of focus, you can, from a negative point of view, you could say it's lack of focus. From a positive point of view, you could say, well, there's more revenue. There's more revenue potential. So it really depends. I need to learn a bit more to decide what the reasoning is for that. Like, do they have the resources as well? Do they have the infrastructure, the sales mechanisms? Do they have the knowledge of those different markets? If you go quite broad, you need to have service knowledge, and maybe they're quite different, all those different things they're mentioning. Engine manufacturer and ground maintenance, and it just looks like they could be targeting too many things. But maybe that's just I have a cynical outlook sometimes. But at the same time, if we flip it from a positive perspective, maybe they could generate more money, from that.
And compressor markets.
CirculOil's revenue is generated through sale of these systems.
So it's the systems and innovative digital service, okay?
And the innovative digital service, with future growth planned through maintenance and usage data.
All right, so and a future with maintenance and user data. So maintenance of what? Is that maintenance, I guess, of the software as a service? Or again, it isn't explained like what the benefit is to the end consumer of their products and services. I think it might be green credentials, but it'd be awesome if they actually save them on their energy costs. I mean, that would be like amazing, as well as having green credentials. But I don't know if we'll see what they
Your
say.
investment will be focused on scaling the circular solution, delivering the orders we're securing now, and allowing us to bring quick, green, smart technology to industries where we can help address the environmental challenge.
Again, it sounds amazing, but I'm playing devil's advocate. If you're the business, if you're the landowner, if you're a golf course or whatever, and there's some grounds maintenance you need to do, and you want to have one of these circular oil contraptions in your engines for your carts or whatever, does it save you money? Is it easier? And why would you want to track it? Is it just for green credentials, or is it something else? Is it to know how much fuel you're using? They haven't explained that. It'd be good, and maybe they will explain. Let's see.
Simply, the entire value proposition of CirculOil immediately resonated with me. I've previously had responsibility for operations and maintenance of process plant, and I can imagine anyone who looks after rotating equipment, machinery, systems that require lube oil will really see and welcome an opportunity to do it faster, better, cleaner, and more sustainably with CirculOil.
Okay, so it sounds like it's to have technology in terms of maintaining this machinery. Maybe there's intel in terms of maybe, I don't know, like maybe if the oil goes down faster, there's some intel on there might be some fault with the machinery. They haven't talked about that, but this guy sounds like he knows what he's talking about. I don't know much about oil and machinery, but still there's a question there that could be answered maybe later in the video or maybe in the deck.
Well, I've been a board member of CirculOil for a number of months now, representing our investors, supporting the team and providing context from our network. We've been pleased with CirculOil's progress, and each of the investors have invested again in this current round.
I mean, that's good, and that kind of explains why they've hit their targets as well. Sounds like they are securing orders, but it'd be good to know, what's the background behind that? What's the value props? What's the reason that they're winning contracts? That's kind of helpful to know. I haven't found out in this video yet, but it's probably in the pitch deck.
CirculOil is a company supported by a team with a wealth of experience and relationships in the industry.
That's really helpful. If they have the right people and they have the right relationships, they'll be able to win contracts easier. They'll be able to potentially hire the right people to help them scale. That's really important.
At CirculOil, our vision is to help drive circularity and reduce and eliminate pollution from waste oil. So join it.
I think it'd be useful for, if I were to give any advice on this or insight and maybe an area where I'd like a bit more information would be like this waste oil in these specific circumstances of ground maintenance type machinery. What happens there? Where does it go? If you don't use this cartridge, which is what they've got on this cart, what does it look like without it? Where does that oil go? Does that go downstream? Like where? I don't really know, and they haven't explained that. That'd be useful to know as well. Maybe we don't need to know every single thing here, but I'm just giving my opinion. I'd like to know that. I think it'd be helpful. Oh.
Yes, and help companies save time, save money, and help save the planet.
Oh, there you go. There we go. Save money as well. So save the planet. Obviously, I've invested in lots of eco startups. I think just having the eco element is enough for people like me and for other people to consider investing. It's a bold and amazing thing to invest in companies that are helping the environment. I agree with that. But if it can also help the companies as well as that, help them from a bottom line perspective, then that's amazing.
And reduce and eliminate pollution from waste oil. So join us and help companies save time,
save money, and help save the planet.
Save money and help save the planet.
If they can do that, then look at that. It looks almost very, very similar to the company I work for, Meta's logo. Anyway. So that's what we can see from the video. Let's see what we can see from their pitch here. So waste lubricant is the largest liquid, non-aqueous, hazardous waste in the world. I'm not quite sure what that means, but I guess it's very bad. Estimated 25 million tons of waste oil is produced every year, but only about a quarter is recycled. So, over 20 million tons of waste oil goes somewhere else. can be hugely damaging. One oil change could contaminate 1 million gallons of fresh water. That's like madness. That's crazy terrible. This patented bespoke sealed cartridge technology unlocks the ability to collect and refine the waste lubricant. There we go. So it's kind of allowing one to reuse it. Our technology is market ready. Trials are running at top UK contractors, with further progressing in the generator and compressor markets. Does that mean they can regenerate oil? Reuse? I mean, that's really big, and I don't think they've explained it that well. Customers benefit from reduced downtime. Our oil change is quick and can take as little as 90 seconds. It's also clean, so there's no spills or mess. It can be done by anyone without the need for specialist equipment. We saw that in the video. Future revenue model from installation, subscription services, digital platform to help customers plan and track their maintenance, which is what we talked about, and that's interesting. It's currently being market tested, and selected third parties are used to re-refine the oil. So they don't do the refining. They're not in the actual oil business. They do the cartridges and they do the software, and they do the support and the maintenance. So CirculOil, I'm not quite sure how to say that. It's being developed for many industrial power generation and ground care applications. Backed by 5 experienced industry investors, funding is to scale up and develop. I think it's pretty good, actually. Let's look at the team. Driven team, yada, yada. Steve was former Nextel, so he's the BP guy. Project director, has got a career in the automotive industry. Creation to promote new products that create real value. I think it's good that he's CEO. Circularity and partnerships. Partnerships is going to be massive for them. BD and strategy. Director of investigations, non-exec. Engineering is part-time. I haven't got access to the investor deck. I'm going to go through that when I get access. I imagine I'll get access tomorrow. I think this is interesting. I really do. I'm going to stop sharing. Whoopsies. And give you my initial feedback on this. I think this is really quite interesting. They're not an oil company, but they're kind of somewhere in that loop. If you're a company that buys oil, you'd be kind of burning or throwing away that oil. In this case, you can reuse it, and this company will come in the middle and they will ship your oil to a re-refiner, and that re-refiner allows you to allows the company CirculOil to put it into these capsules or these cartridges, and then they get installed into your machinery, meaning you can reuse the oil and save money and save time, save hassle, and you get data and analytics. It looks like the product is ready. It's not like it's nearly ready. It looks like it's almost ready. It looks quite close to being ready, and they got a good team, and it's such a compelling reason. All that oil, a small amount of oil can fuck up so much. Excuse my language. Can screw up so much fresh water. So I think this is amazing, and I'm really excited to hear back from the company and in terms of the pitch deck, and I'll do a pitch deck analysis. I have to see if I've got any investable funds for this month. But if you've got any questions for me, feel free to comment on this video on YouTube, or indeed, I'm probably going to post this, so you can comment on the post as well. If you like this video, make sure to smash the like button. Consider subscribing if you're interested in learning more about investing, or if you want to see some of my other pitch deck and videos analyses. I do these live. There's no particular preparation. It's just from the top of my head. I like to try and challenge myself to think quickly so that you get as much insight as you can in a short period of time. And of course, when I get the pitch deck, I'll be doing more analysis. So yeah, make sure to subscribe if you like these videos. I've got other videos about how you can increase your investable funds, how you can beat inflation, about normal equities investing as well. Guys, I like making these videos. I enjoy it. It isn't that easy, but I do enjoy it, of course. Knowledge is power, especially what kind of knowledge. Progress is everything. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.